All right. Hi, and welcome back to episode 3 of AP rap. Not raps, yaps. I'm sorry, I will not be rapping on here, unfortunately. I didn't make a title page this time around, but I do have my notes that I'd like to go over. I wasn't really expecting to make a video back to back this quick, but the last one low-key felt kind of therapeutic. So today's topic is give yourself some credit. And I don't mean you're not giving yourself any credit. I mean, give yourself some more credit. I don't think a lot of us really do. And I think that hurts us, to be honest. And I've come to realize this recently. I feel like growing up as a kid, everything that I did was kind of like a big deal. And I don't know if that was with the fact that my parents were always watching me, or if everything was new, or what exactly it was, but I feel like I really gave myself a pat on the back for a lot of my accomplishments. I was a really big reader as a kid. And if I finished a book, like, that was it. That was cool. And I was proud of it. And I knew I was proud of it. And I let myself be proud of it. But not as much anymore. And I don't know why. I find that kind of funny because I think I'm doing a lot more in my life today for myself. And that's new and things that I would consider to be challenging. Yet, I don't look back on it, and I don't ever give myself, like, that pat on the back or that, like, hey, you did good today. That doesn't happen anymore. It almost feels like it's never enough. I guess it's interesting because on the day-to-day, I want to say I'm my biggest supporter, but I think if I'm being realistic, I would say I am a supporter of myself, but I think I'm more of a hater. I kind of crap on myself a lot more, and I think a lot of us are prone to that. I think we all have this idea of we need to be better, and I have an issue with it. I feel like if I set goals for myself, once I reach them, I can't be okay with just achieving it. There always needs to be something more to it. And don't get me wrong, I think that to a degree that can be really good for, growing as a person, but I think there's steps along the way that you need to reward yourself for. And I don't know if it's just me. I'm hoping it's not. Maybe I'm hoping to find some people like usual to relate to. But I feel like instead of just giving myself milestones of, hey, you made it through this semester and you passed, it's okay, cool, I made it through the semester, but that doesn't matter. I need to make it through the year now. Instead of being like, I made it through the semester. That's pretty good. Let's celebrate. Like, pat myself on the back. You did great. And without that, I feel like my mental level of achievement has been dissipating, like, constantly. I feel like I always need to do more, and I need to do more. And I just feel like that childhood sense that was once there needs to come back. That, like, hey, you read a book. That's good. Not, I need to read 5 books, I read 1. Or I tried, And I need to bring that back in my life. I feel like without it, it's a never-ending loop of just go, 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 go. And what's the point of go, go, go if you never get the reward? For me, this is a topic that runs into things like school, like I stated before, work. Maybe you get a raise, It's never enough. Even in the moment, I feel like if it's okay for a week, it's okay for a day, and then it disappears. It's never, hey, I did good on that, and let's improve. It's, I need to improve because what I did wasn't good enough. I think one thing that really helps me with this issue, and something that I'm going to try to work on a bit more to improve this issue as a whole, is I like to think back to where I was in middle school. I felt good as a kid when I was in elementary. I know this is going back like 10 plus years, but I felt a lot more confident in myself, and I think it's because once you hit that age range of middle school, you start to become more self-conscious of things, and you start to realize the things you don't like. But I want to pop a picture up on screen. I love showing this to people. I think it's funny. Some people say it's like self-deprecating. I think that's the right word. New word alert. But like right in here is a photo of what I used to look like back in middle school. I was a goofball. I have a Flash shirt on, khakis. I was a bigger kid, and I just wanted to fit in. And being bigger was a really easy way to stand out. I think pretty soon after that photo, I started breaking out in acne pretty bad. But I think tapping into that inner child, for sure, is a great way to find accomplishment. I like to think back to that guy, and I think I like to think, what would he think, you know? I think it's a really good thing to look back at. As a child, you're a lot more innocent. You have a lot more goals. I feel like as you get older, you shut them down, but I like to look back at that guy, and I like to think, would he be proud? Because it's hard for me to be proud now, but it really helps me shape what I'm doing, and realize if it's a good or bad idea. And I think he would be really proud. I broke out of my self-conscious shell. I I lost a lot of weight. That was my big goal there. He would, if he saw the way I look today, he would be ecstatic. And I think that's something we need to do a lot more, is to give yourself credit and think about what would past you say about you today. And hey, if he'd be upset, then maybe that's the sign that it's time to change. Maybe you're not on the same side as me. I think that I need to give myself more credit, or maybe you're giving yourself too much credit. I think going back to a past version of yourself and asking yourself that genuine question of would they be proud is a great thing to do. And if anyone else has a different strategy to this, let me know, because this one's great, but I don't do it enough. And if there is other ways that other people are, taking this idea up, I'd love to hear about it. I do kind of want to still piggyback on this idea here as to where it stems from, because I'm not sure, really. I've kind of thought about it a little bit, and maybe I'm sure it's different for everybody, and maybe some people don't even have this problem. I'm sure there's people out there that are giving themselves the credit they need, but I think I have a few ideas of where it might stem from, and one of them I do want to carry on from, because I it's a big thing for me, and I think it's probably where it's coming from for the most part. Things I have written down are being seen by others, being accepted by others, and then the guilt of comparison. I'm not sure if these are exactly where it comes from, or if it's the fact that I've done so much in my life now that each thing seems so small. But I think the biggest one I want to go into and try to tackle is comparison, which was something I kind of tiptoed around on the last video as well with social media. I think that comparison kills all your achievements. And I'm not going to go into that too much because I'll be repeating myself here, but it really does. I shared before with the gym, and I think I'm pretty soon going to take that step of getting rid of my social media and trying to see if comparison is an issue with me, because the internet's a great way for me to compare. And I don't compare too much in person, I'm going to be honest. I think at the end of the day, I need to try to get rid of comparison. I think I'm going to need to give myself those little wins. I need to accept them as what they are, instead of putting them on the back burner as something that still needs to be worked on. Because at the end of the day, a milestone's a milestone, and something was finished there. And I need to realize that even if it's a small chunk and it's not the big picture, something was done correctly. And I think that that'll help with my mental health. Not that it's poor right now, but I'm just really hard on myself, and I think we all are. Going back to it, I think you need to give yourself some credit, and so do I. So to do this, I'm just kind of sharing my steps I'm going to try to work on here, but I'm going to stop doing things for others, and this is something I've been working on recently. I kind of hinted back on when I was younger. I was very self-conscious, and I would wear clothes because other people thought it was cool. Like, it's so stupid looking back on it, but like, someone would think that, let's say, a band was cool. Now, I thought this was cool back then. I still fuck with it now, but 21 Pilots was cool. And let's say if someone else thought it was cool, I'd go buy that shirt and wear it around them just to get acceptance from them. And that's something that you're not going to be able to give yourself credit for if you're doing things for other people. I think you need to realize that if you did something that you wanted to and you finished it, or you took even just a step towards it, it doesn't need to be finishing it. I need to stop saying that, because that's against my point here. Just taking a step towards something deserves credit. You don't have to go all in. Granted, you shouldn't, just stop projects in the middle of it, but you still need to reward yourself for trying. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to get everything possible out of something. You just need to be proud with what you can do in the moment. And as long as you tried it, you need to be okay with that, and don't put yourself down all the time. So yeah, give yourself more credit. This one was a little bit different, video-wise. I I didn't have as much to say, I guess, or like as strong as a belief, because this one is something I'm actively working on for sure. The social media thing is something that I definitely like. I know, I know what needs to happen there, but yeah. Obviously, you guys can see I got the Christmas tree in the back. I got the ugly Christmas sweater. I got a party I'm about to go to here in a little bit, but I really enjoy sharing these videos with you guys. I had someone leave a comment in the last video, and it really made me smile. Just to see that someone else can, I guess, kind of relate to what's going on here. I don't really want to overly edit these videos, and that's something that that comment was talking about. So I just want it to be very personal. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for tuning in to AP Raps 3. I'm gonna be making more of these. I think they're very, very nice, very therapeutic, and I hope you guys get the same thing out of it. So yeah, happy holidays. Hope everyone has a good break from work, good break from school. Take care and give yourself some more credit.